Black mass, man, it's time to rob. I had to find a way, I couldn't find a job. Couldn't find a prayer, couldn't find a God. Couldn't find a prayer, couldn't find a God. Black mass, man, it's time to rob. I had to find a way, I couldn't find a job. Couldn't find a prayer, couldn't find a God. Couldn't find a prayer, couldn't find a God.
Mount, he in trouble with the law again. Black skin can't win in the white world. Seen a brother kill his own kid for that white girl. We ain't wanna go to school, but we had to. Every February it was scary in them classrooms. Shimmy y'all, shimmy yay. Old dirty bastards can't own dirty slaves, so they own dirty masters.
Black mass, man, couldn't find a prayer, couldn't find a God.
Podcast.
We are back.
We are back in the building, full blast. Hopefully we won't have none of that technical. Man, you don't know what we had to do behind the scenes just to get this going.
Yeah, this was ugly.
This has been crazy. But we here, we live, we in effect. We glad you in the building with us. Bear with us through all the technicalities and all that stuff that's going on.
And I just want everybody to know my pops thought this was hilarious watching me go crazy to get this up and running.
Listen, I'm enjoying it because what I'm trying to teach him is he can't be panicking, when things have to be done. If you want to be a boss, right? Check me out. This is the perfect time for me to give you my story, right? People think being a boss means just popping bottles, flying in private jets and all of that. No, being a boss is making decisions that are hard decisions, right?
I guess.
Can you fire Alejandro? This is the scenario I laid out to Malcolm and you the people out there, right? I asked him all the time, can he fire Alejandro? Right? Now, Alejandro has been with our company for 35 years. Alejandro has never missed a day in 35 years, right? You have been promoted to an executive position as a boss. The first thing I want you to do is go over there and fire Alejandro. Now, Malcolm goes over to see Alejandro. Hey, Malcolm, my buddy, what's going on, my friend? It's really good to see you again. Let me show you a picture of my new son, man. You know, we're going on vacation soon. And you got to say, Alejandro, I need to speak to you out there. You see what I'm saying? And then you got to tell Alejandro that we don't need him no more. His job is done by computers now. Can you fire Alejandro? And that's an aspect of being a boss that we seem to overlook. A lot of times we always worrying about popping the bottles. Being a boss is an ugly side to that. And Alejandro is an allegory for a friend that you got to let go of, an ex-girlfriend that you got to let go of, a family member, or even a boss, even your job. So Alejandro is an allegory for shit you just got to let go of. Now, can you find Alejandro?
I'm getting there.
Would you Alejandro me?
If
I'm your dad, would you Alejandro me?
If that's what the company needs.
That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about.
Like, god damn, man. When I say like none of this technology has been working for like the past 2 weeks. Like,
Mercury retrograde, bro. I mean, you just
something.
Can't blame it on all that, but it's out there.
Like, if it's not one thing, it's the
yeah,
next.
it's a chain event.
Oh my god!
And at 8 o'clock, he's like, no. 8:15, he's like,
no.
8:30, he was damn near sweating. The show is not gonna happen. It's not gonna happen. I'm like, yo, bro, calm down. Our people understand. Even if we come on at 9:15. We're going to get this right. You're not ready to fire Alejandro. You're not. You're just not ready to fire him. Alejandro going to be working here forever, even though we don't need him. Because you're going to be like, you know what? Fuck it, Alejandro. Just clean up. Do something. Thank you, my friend.
His kids are adorable. I can't just...
His kids are adorable. I can't fire him.
Can't fire Alejandro.
Welcome to another podcast with us. We love you guys. We appreciate your support. And we're here. So, Malcolm, tell me... Try to bring him on home for you.
You probably heard our new theme track.
Oh yeah.
From Black Cool.
Black Cool. Shout out Black Cool. Let me give them up.
Shout out to them.
Because we here at Urban X, we're trying to, help everybody out. You help us, we help you.
Right.
and you know, it's a nice little bumping tune to it. I was bumping on my way from North Carolina like this. I said, okay, yeah, that's a go. That's a go.
Called in the favor.
Yes, gotta call in favors.
Called in the favor. But so this week, we got first thing, Cardi B's album comes out tomorrow.
Yes. Yes.
Or if you listen to this, the 6th, April 6th.
Yes.
Comes out, right? So that's tomorrow. Whenever you listen to this, April 6th. So, she dropped her second single from her album.
Technically her second and a half single,
yeah.
because I'm gonna count the Bodak Yellow as a single because it bumped. It bumped.
All right. So
Bloody Shoes. I don't want to choose. I can get 2 pair. I ain't got to choose. You see what I'm saying? All that kind of stuff. That's a dope song. All right. Anyway.
Right, but so she dropped her new track last week called "Care for Me."
Yeah.
And on first listen, I loved it. I'm not gonna lie to you.
I did too.
I'm not gonna lie to you.
I did too.
Like I'm not like as soon as it came on, like when I heard the track, I was like, oh, this is gonna be hard. And then I thought she was spitting. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It just, she can't sing, but it's just like what, you know what I'm saying?
Let me know when you thought off the back.
Yeah, I got you. But a lot of people online didn't like it. They found out she had a ghostwriter. Oh, wow, people were upset about that. Like, you know what I'm saying? And people thought like they should have got like SZA on the hook or something like that, which I thought would have been corny because if we haven't learned anything from DJ Khaled's albums, a lot of people, having the most famous people on a track does not automatically make it hot. Khaled's last album was proof because it was trash.
Okay.
Treated ass. You know what I'm saying?
Treated trash.
Like he had like the 8, famous people on the track, and you would and honestly, some of those combinations that he had on that album
didn't work.
On paper, it didn't work.
Right. So what was he thinking?
Yeah, that's what that goes into my theory about rappers and their egos because he started reading those press clippings.
Okay.
But that's besides the point.
Yeah. Those are all good points.
Going back to Cardi, I liked her. I liked the new track. She dropped another one today with the Migos. Again, I wasn't mad at that either. I thought the hook was a little whack. It's called Drip. I wasn't mad at that either.
Okay.
But that's me. So,
are you throwing it off the backboard?
Yeah,
now here we go. Let me explain something to you guys. First of all, the song was banging.
Yeah.
Right? For today's music. First of all, I'm gonna give y'all the breakdown on how to make a hot track. You can't go wrong with this. This is the Black Dot. I've been in this game a long time. Right?
Let's hear it.
Track. The track has to be banging. All right? This track was banging.
Definitely.
Right? The flow. Now, there's an MC flow and then there's a rapper's flow. MC flow is too complicated. That's for the fellas in the hood. You know what I'm saying? The rapper's flow is almost talking on record, and so that even your grandmother can sing along. Ding, she did that.
Right.
The song must be a resonator, meaning people can relate to it. All of them women can relate to this song. That's right. I could suck his dick, but I didn't suck his dick.
There's
just
so
so
many
you
Instagram
know.
captions in that song.
Right?
Yeah.
And so she dropped that, her little accent, the little culo, the tulo, the tulo, chulo.
Yeah.
That's so Boogie Down Bronx.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Right? So the accent brought me back to the Boogie Down Bronx. She didn't write her lyrics. The flow wasn't in the pocket. All right?
Right.
But to me, that's what made it even doper. Because we know she doesn't write. But we know she is a vessel now used to express these thoughts. And the last part of the song that must be important is the hook.
Yeah.
Be careful with me. Be careful because you have to be able to repeat the hook.
Yeah.
Motherfucker, she hit on every point of this song.
Yeah,
right?
I agree.
Remove your ego about she didn't write this. Nobody's writing.
Right.
Nikki's not right now. We know Safari was right. Remy looked like she writes because Remy, but most of these females don't write.
But I don't know why people thought even Bodak Yellow. I didn't think she wrote that.
No,
but
absolutely
everybody still
not.
liked it. I don't know what.
That's my point, guys. That's the formula, and she hit on every point. Right? The track alone is banging, and the flow is even the key. She was even rhyming to the keys.
Yeah.
Down, shut, down, 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 home, down. All right, so she had all of that down. That's a hit.
Yeah,
That's a hit,
I agree.
and all of them chicks is gonna be out there singing that,
looking into their phones, on
looking
Snapchat,
into their phone,
rapping this song,
the whole 9 yards.
Yeah,
so we're gonna clap that up for Cardi B.
I like it. I like it.
Now again, if you're an MC, this song won't do it for you.
Right.
But to make a song that's gonna play on the radio that everybody, white people, see, white people, they're linear in how they perceive these songs. So this flow can't be crazy, up and double and triple entendres. No, that's not for them.
Right.
They wanna
That's not at this point. That's not for a lot of people.
That's not for a lot of people because we have slowed the vibration down to where people want palatable stuff.
And the fact that, like, again, like, people can rap to it, and most of artists, they get their money off concerts.
Absolutely.
I wrote about this in Urban X at NYC.
Yes, he did. Yes, he did.
Right? So you have to make songs for concert experiences so people want to come see you so you can make your money. Artists are not making money off streams like that.
Absolutely. There's no money off the streams.
There's no money off streams like that. So if that's why a lot of songs are get hype songs, you know what I'm saying?
Or
like,
this one was the perfect change of pace.
Right,
she hit me with the Bodak Yellow,
right,
then she hit me with the Cardi, call him up, tell him out, buddy. And then she just dunk. The minute the track came on.
Right.
And I usually can tell you a hit within the first 30 seconds of a song.
As soon as the track
came on, I said, this is in the pocket.
I was like, this is hard.
And then she kicked that flow, which at most the sisters in the hood are having male to female problems. And this song spoke to them.
Right.
So when you make a song that speaks to relevancy, this is why hustlers always win in these songs, because everybody out here grinding, trying to hustle. Right? So she just threw fellas under the bus. You better be careful of me.
Yeah.
That bitch don't even know your name. She might wake up and steal your chain. Yo, all of them bars was crazy. You know what I mean? She don't know your middle name. She might gonna steal your chain, your puto. You wanna get that culo. Right? That's how sisters, I grew up in the BX. That's how the mommies be talking. And I knew of just a few words, mami un poquito, just, bonita, enough to go like, ha, Because love is a universal language. I had a Spanish mommy too. Shout out Cynthia. She was bad. She was a little thug too. She put up. All right, enough of that said. Let's move on to the next topic. Oh no, we still on the Cardi B because she got the album dropping.
Because she has the album dropping, right?
Right.
A lot of people feel like it's rushed.
The album?
The album is a lot of people feel like it's being rushed, right? Okay. So I thought this kind of led into another conversation about like what one hit wonders and what that means. You know what I'm saying? Because, because on Netflix right now, it's a series called Rapture.
Yeah, Eli was telling me about it. I haven't checked it out.
Yeah, they had like Dave East, Nas. The one specific one I found quite interesting, right? And it caused real debate between me and my friends, right? Okay. It was A Boogie.
Right? A Boogie.
From the Bronx.
From the Bronx, my man.
Right?
OEX is up.
Young dude, 21. I love his music. I thought his album was crazy. I listen to it all the time, right?
Yeah.
So within the documentary, he's going around his old hood. He was it was one scene I thought was kind of cringeworthy. He was in his car. It had, people from the hood, like, by his car, and he was handing them $100 bills. Okay. Right?
That's gangster.
Right. Cool. I mean, cool, but at the same time, I was just kind of like, oh.
Wow, you fear for his life?
Nah, not even that, because it's just like, how long you going to keep that up?
It's not about keeping it up per se. It's a way to get back to your hood a little bit.
Okay, so, but we know how it is, right?
And it might have been for a photo op because he's shooting the documentary.
Right, that's true too. But at the same time, like, okay, now they're gonna expect that every time you come back.
Don't come back.
Goes into my next point, right? He bought a mansion for his friends. They call it the High Bridge Mansion, and he has a home for his family.
In the same place?
No.
Oh, he's somewhere else.
Somewhere else.
That's gangster. Okay.
Right? I said it was stupid.
Okay, explain to me why.
Because when you because buying things like a car for somebody or a mansion, it's not just ending at I just bought you this. It's payments that you like. It's mortgage payments. It's property taxes. It's upkeep for 2 different houses, and you're just starting out. And my whole thing is, my point to my friends was the average shelf life for a rapper is like 4 years. Right? Okay. He's 2 years in, right? Not to even like count his pocket, not to even watch his pocket.
Yeah.
I'm just
I
saying,
got you. I got you.
Like I just didn't think it was smart. It's dope.
Okay.
But everything dope doesn't, you know, it's not smart.
MC Hammer's a perfect example of this.
Okay.
Hammer blew up and tried to take the whole Oakland with him.
Right.
And people ragged on Hammer later on when he went broke, but Hammer went broke of a good heart. Hammer was taking dudes off the street saying, don't sell drugs, come on tour with me. So Hammer had a big heart. Then when the next album didn't do as well, and he had to cut staff, he had to Alejandro these motherfuckers, basically, right? It led to some dissension amongst, you know, those who helped him, but those who knew the story, Hammer's a legend. You know what I mean? For that. Now, the gesture of telling your boys, I'm going to provide a place for you guys to live, but that should not be the end point. Take LeBron James, for instance. LeBron got his A1 from day one, but they got degrees now, and they are now working, earning their own money after he created the environment for them to do that.
But all right, so I also don't want to skip a point. Highbridge, the label, that was created by, it's 4 of them in a label, and that's like people in the neighborhood, they created that label, right? So his deal is way better than a lot of new rappers' deals. Like, you know what I'm saying? A lot of them in 360 deals, things like that. His deal is way better, and he also has a sponsorship by Bel Air Champagne. Right? And even then, my point to my friends, because they giving me all this, like, he got the money, I don't understand why it's a bad thing. I'm not saying it's a bad thing. I just said it was dumb, right? Okay. And 2, you don't know how long you're going to be popular. Hip-hop is a very, very fickle.
You didn't let me finish my point.
Oh, go ahead.
I'm in line with that. A lot of times you know what I'm saying, you cast this bigger than it really is, and then next you know you're not making that money, and people start depending on you like, yo, what's going on? So my whole thing was, if you create a place for them to live, and it becomes a creative nest. Let's say you just ain't got niggas hanging around who just hanging on. They just need a place knowing that they got a head over their, you know what I'm saying, roof over their head, and an opportunity to grow their craft. And what they're going to do to build this empire, it could work. It's almost like taking 2 steps forward to take 1 step back. I'm putting this out here. You guys have the High Bridge Mansion. Now, the High Bridge Mansion shouldn't just be butt-naked chicks running around and we popping up blunts. Studio for videos. The mansion should encompass all of that, so that now you have a creative outlet, because it's one thing to be creative, and it's another thing to be creative and your rent ain't paid. That's a whole different can of worms. If I know my rent is paid, I can go into a zone and begin the creative to help blow up High Bridge Records. So he's gambling on his peoples. I have no problem with that.
But also, like, all right, granted, I don't know, from what I saw in the video, I don't know if any of that is happening.
Right, so I'm basing that on, that's what I would do.
I just saw a house of niggas. That's all. That's all I saw. They were shooting dice. It was smoke, and that's another point too, right?
Right.
That's another point I made. If the house is in your name, you got 19 dudes from the hood, right? Something dumb happens. Who gets in trouble?
You're gonna get in trouble. You're gonna get in trouble.
And this,
but watch this. If I'm at a spot and some niggas violate me, I got niggas who gonna blow niggas tops off.
That's true too.
You see what I'm saying? So that's to me, that's the trade-off.
That's true too.
You have to keep niggas with you who don't give a fuck.
Right, that's true.
You say what you want to say. These niggas right here, these niggas is ready to let off.
Right, that's true.
They killing babies. They can give a fuck. We out of this bitch. That's the way. When you got them niggas with you, you gotta feed them niggas, and you gotta provide a place for the niggas to live, and you gotta get them niggas phony titles. Nigga, you with a 3rd grade education,
executive manager of Twitter.
Yeah, you are the executive manager of Twitter.
Yeah.
You don't Alejandro that nigga, because that nigga be like, what?
Yeah.
And he'll come back and blow everybody up. So that nigga don't get Alejandro. It's few Alejandro. Right? You take care of them, because in the end, it should balance itself out. There's dudes who gonna look out for you because they know. Now, it's always going to be a couple of wolves everywhere. There's wolves everywhere. You just can't avoid the wolves. So there's going to be some wolves who be like, if this nigga caught slipping, we'll talk about Safari a little bit later, I'm pretty sure. So, you know, there's always going to be that aspect, right? But if you take care of your peoples... Now, I want to make this point, and I don't want to harp on it. If me and you grow up together, and at 4:30 in the morning, I'm outside shooting jumpers, rain, sleet, or snow, working on my craft, and you in the house, smoking weed. You looking out the window. What the fuck is wrong with this nigga? Playing PlayStation and shit. And then I go pro.
Right.
I don't know you shit.
Right.
Don't get it twisted, but the hood don't see it that way. The hood be like, that nigga got to pay a hood tax. Wait a minute, nigga. I was the one up 4:30 in the morning. Now, if I'm out at 4:30 in the morning and y'all protecting me, making sure I don't have to sell drugs during the day, like LeBron, whole community protected him. Right. He never needed for nothing. He didn't have to sell drugs. He was the prodigal son. You know what I mean? That's different. This is why he gives back so much to his hood, $40 and $50 million, sending kids to college, took his A1s from day one with him the whole nine. If your hood provides that for you, Allen Iverson, the same thing, kept him out of trouble out in VA. Then I can see you bringing them along. But if you did nothing but smoke weed and look out the window at me and I owe you something, and that's the problem why dudes don't come back to the hood. They feel like, yo, damn, while I was making the ultimate sacrifice, you didn't do shit. And now I owe you? That's a problem I have with that. You heard?
Yeah, all right.
You are tuned into the sounds of Urban X.
All right, next, probably heard about Fab.
Oh, yeah. Ooh. Ouch. You take the lead on that one.
Okay, so Fab turned himself in to the police because allegedly, I'm gonna say allegedly, he beat his girlfriend, Emily B. He knocked her 2 front teeth out. Ooh. Oh, yeah, as a result of him hitting her, she had to get 2 teeth removed. And he threatened to shoot her pops and her brother.
I did see that. Yeah. Was that the TMZ clip?
Yeah.
First of all, TMZ is the CIA. I'm gonna tell you again.
Easily.
TMZ is the CIA. Them motherfuckers is everywhere at all times.
Wait, you know what TMZ stands for?
No.
I think it's like 30 mile zone. There's always a TMZ person within 30
Well, what
miles
they're doing is they're buying people's stuff. So if some shit pop off with me right here in the house and you film it, you can sell that to TMZ and they'll put their stamp on it. So they're everywhere because somebody everywhere has a phone. Right. So TMZ's model is perfect. It's sort of like in the Matrix where Mr. Smith
was everywhere. Yeah.
It's fucking everywhere. Right? Anybody who was a snake, he can link into their vibration and be on the scene. So TMZ is not just, but the core of the company, they have to be CIA because their whole joint is, they getting, if you dig in your nose, nigga, them niggas is there. You know, don't scratch your ass in the airport because TMZ will doom, doom, doom. Yeah. Got Black Dot scratching his ass real hard. You know, so anyway, they got him. I saw that. Him,
But what was happening, like the aftermath on Twitter, it was kind of like, if you said like, damn Fab, I hate it had to be you. You caught the backlash because everybody was like, well, I hate it had to be Emily because she got beat. So it's kind of like
absolutely, yeah. And we're in the middle of the Me Too movement,
yeah. So
right?
It's ugly, man.
So everything you do in reference to that is bad. First of all, as you already know, you should never put your hands on a woman. If you do, you have violated a bond. You know what I mean? When you're young, you do things. When you at his age, he should know better. I don't know how upset he was. I don't even know if he did this, but allegedly what's being said is something that he's going to have to work through. But in this day and time with the Me Too movement, you better not look at a chick's titties. Hey. When I'm talking to women now, my eyes are up here. Yes.
You gotta go out. You know what's wild?
Keep my shit up here, cause
I found myself like even with like professional relationships, I found myself like overcompensating the fact I don't want you.
Absolutely, I'm making it clear, man. You got a big old ass, but I don't want you, cause I don't want to get caught up in no Me Too shit. So we're in a tough time for that kind of stuff to go on. I hope it's not true. If it is true, he's gonna have a price to pay for that.
You know what was telling? The fact that she knew to get the guns out the house.
That's a very telling fact.
She texted her, according to the story, that she told her father and her brother to go to her house in Jersey and get the guns because she fears that he's going to use them.
Absolutely.
So the fact that she knew that already
and she may have saved him.
Yeah.
By getting those guns out of the house or having her father and brother there, not just as an initial deterrent, but what had happened if he got those joints. Right. And the Brooklyn, let me tell you something. The streets talk. And Fabolous and his crew, these kids ain't to be played with. You know what I mean? Fabulous's crew was they some thorough dudes. You know what I mean? So if not him, then he has people in his mix. We just got finished speaking. That these dudes want to make a name for themselves. So shout out to Emily B.
Yeah.
And I'm wishing her the best.
And her kids, and both of their kids, because you heard like screaming in the background.
Right, so the kids are involved.
Yeah.
And he probably blew his top for whatever reason. But Fab, at this point in his career, if these allegations are true, should know better. He should know there's ways for him. He can have any woman he wants. Maybe he's mad she's got the house. I don't know all the details. Mm-hmm. But you don't want your name attached to anything about beating women ever, but not in these last couple of years. So, ouch.
And it's kind of, I thought it was, I don't know why I expected different, but the way New York personalities, people like DJs, radio stations, the way they're covering it.
How are they covering it?
They're being like real
selective.
Yeah.
Because Fab is their peoples.
Yeah.
And at a time like this, he needs some sort of support to say, don't jump to conclusions. It may not have been what you thought it was, or whatever the case may be. I saw the TMZ piece, and he just looked like, when he came toward her, did he have a knife in his hand?
That's what it looked like. That's what.
Or whatever. She looked so frightened.
Yeah.
She looked like like this is something that goes on regularly, and I'm hoping that that's not the case. Yeah. But his people are gonna rally behind him.
But you don't, at the same time, like, you don't want to be like on the wrong side of this too, like publicly.
You don't. But you know what? When it comes to child molestation, when it comes to domestic violence and things of that nature, rape, right. There has to be a clear line you got to draw. Yeah. There really has to be. You did what?
Yeah.
God damn. Mm-hmm. Now, you know what I mean? With that being said, anything else? Oh, you hit a nigga in the head with a bottle? Yeah. Well, hey, Mount, that's the way shit goes. Right. You know what I mean? So we kind of have to, wait for everything to kind of come out. Yeah. And I believe it will, all the details. If they show me pictures with her with no teeth in her mouth,
man,
it's a wrap.
It's over. He's going to...
like the Rihanna pictures was like a fucking wrap. When you saw that, you was like, ouch, ouch. Chris Brown ain't nothing you could tell me. I know she was hitting you while you was driving. Right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So, Safari.
Yeah.
He went on Angie Martinez's show after he got robbed.
At gunpoint?
At gunpoint, yeah. I guess it happened like a few hours earlier.
He said a couple hours ago.
Yeah, he went up there and he was crying about getting robbed and things like that, and people clowned him for crying.
Listen, I'm not gonna say I've never had a gun put to my head. I have, growing up in the Bronx, but I was not going to clown him because he was crying. You know what I mean? I know, but this is the internet world.
Yeah.
Listen, these people are brutal. They will come out with memes about everybody and anything, and you have to be able to take that with a grain of salt in this day and time.
Right.
If you're gonna let that stuff get to you personally, then you have a problem. We have grown so insensitive to things like brothers getting robbed.
I mean, the only thing with me, I just didn't know why he didn't cancel the interview.
Right.
I'd have just probably. But you know what was, what I appreciated from that interview?
Yeah, my man Paul Brown said he owed money. Yeah, we're gonna get to that. I believe you right. You know what I'm saying? Because I saw a clip with the goons had his chains and all that. Like, nigga, stop lying. You owed us money on that track and you ain't pay up, and we took your jewels, nigga. You can get your jewels back. And this is the funny shit. They got like a scarf. Like, you don't know that's motherfucking Andre from the hood. Andre, we know that's you, my nigga, but he still got the scarf on and shit, talking about, because you can get your chain back. Yeah, that's funny shit.
I mean, I just want to know, what I thought was interesting, I thought it was kind of cool too. He even said like, yo, I just came from the police precinct. Like, he's saying like, yo, he's not a street dude, so he's not abiding by any of those rules. He's like, yo, you robbed me.
And Eli told us, he told me, he said, dude, whenever I see this dude, he never has no security with him. So that's another thing. We just got finished speaking about the Wolves.
Yeah.
The Wolves are always paying attention. Oh, these niggas never got no security with him. Yeah. That's easy money.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So when you take all of that into consideration, you're not a street dude. You wearing jewels like a street dude.
And
you don't have security with you.
This was like at the interview, and he's wearing the fur. Like
He's wearing a fur.
he wears furs wherever he goes.
You know what?
No.
I think we should get that nigga next time. He ain't got no security with him.
Yeah, he's wilding.
I think we can, but I'm just saying. But you understand my point? So he was hurt. He did the right thing. He went to the popo. I heard the police. I saw somebody also say
they got
two of the guys.
Two of them, yeah.
Okay, so I mean, that's what it is. But when you're in these streets and you want to play that role, you have to play that role all the way through.
Yeah.
Right? You gotta have your goons with you, ready to let off, and you wearing your jewels. If not, they're gonna get you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And they're gonna get you lovely. You are tuned into the sounds of Urban X.
All right, next we got the white guy, Michael Rapaport.
Michael Rapaport, that stink fucking white guy, dude. He's got some shit to say about black people. Fuck LeBron, man. I fucking hate him. Him?
Yeah,
him. It's
what you think about him?
I can't stand him. I mean, I usually don't, whether I like people or not, I just think he's a little bit obnoxious. He thinks he's a cool white guy because he listens to hip hop.
Right.
And, that don't make you cool because you listen to hip hop.
Right.
You know what I mean? And he thinks he knows a lot of shit about what's going on.
There's like white people who, are engrossed in the culture somehow.
Right.
Right. And they still, you can tell like they still understand like it's not their culture.
But they participating and they're a guest.
I feel
here.
like he feels like he can just sit at the table. You know what
Right,
I'm saying?
right.
Like,
He did a documentary on Tribe Called Quest back in the days.
Right.
I think he think these things gives him a pass where he can just say whatever he wants to say about whatever he wants to say, and I disagree. Right. He looks like he was a bully in school.
Oh yeah, he was
in the 5th grade. He looked like he took kids' lunch money and shit.
What was that movie? Higher Learning. He was the sniper.
The sniper.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So he looks like that. Look at his eyes.
Yeah.
You can look at a man's eyes and almost see where his motives are. And he always has something to say about black people. He speaks on other people too, I will say that, but I just noticed. I'm like, dude,
he called Kenya Moore and he said something about she's ashy.
And then you see the tweet he put up of a gorilla. Like they was putting makeup on her after the show or before the show. He got a picture of her putting makeup on, and right next to it is a picture of a gorilla.
See,
you deserve to get punched in the face for that.
Yeah.
And we have become so insensitive that we talk all of this mad shit, and he can't get punched in the face.
Yeah.
Him.
Yeah, right.
He can't get punched in the face.
Right.
George Zimmerman is still walking around, yet we talking about all of these other things, and we gangster, and we thug, and you can't come to my city unless you check in. But George Zimmerman is still walking around with no problem. Michael Rapaport can call a black sister, I don't know if she had ashy feet or not, but that's beside the point, and put up a picture of her as a gorilla, and he ain't on ESPN today with a black eye?
Right.
I don't understand. I really don't. And I'm not advocating violence, but I'm saying, wink, wink, I'm saying.
All right. That's it. Yeah, right.
You know what I mean? Like, give me a fucking break.
And the whole yelling into the phone.
Yeah.
It got corny.
It got corny. He did it once or twice. He ranted about nobody celebrated Rakim's birthday. Right. It was his 50th birthday, and like fucking all these fucking DJs and shit, and nobody fucking want to play his record. He's almost like getting ready to say nigga. Like, I like this nigga Rakim. That's what it sounds like. He's right on the edge. It's fucking nigga Rakim, and it's fucking dope, man. That's what it seemed like he about to say, and he pulls himself back.
Right.
So he think that gives him like, street cred and this and that. No, it does not.
Right.
Fuck Michael Rapaport. I said it.
You know what I mean?
And I can beat his ass. White boys can't box. I don't give a fuck with them. They want to wrestle. Like, take these to the head. Anyway, what's next?
Next, the Houston Texans owner.
Oh, yeah, your boy. He's the one who, didn't he say some real wild shit in the summertime?
He said, like, he kind of compared NFL players
to inmates.
Like,
the inmates are now running
the asylum.
The asylum or something, when he was talking about those who were kneeling for the cause and stuff. So, but that pulled his card right there.
Oh, yeah.
This is some racist white boy, good old shit boys club. It ain't no black owners in football. You know what I mean? So we sit at the top of this, And you know this is all slave mentality. Y'all niggas is performing on my field.
Right.
I pay you niggas. I view you niggas at the combine in your drawers. And make you niggas, instead of carrying a tree to see how strong you are, lift them fucking weights. I can see how, give me the real strong, fast niggas to make my team.
Well,
so we know what the dynamics is. And that's not to knock football players who choose the craft, because it is a craft to hone their skills, make their living, but know who you are at all times and use that to elevate yourself to other levels.
And for the people that are gonna inevitably say, but they make millions, I want you to read a book called $40 Million Slaves.
$40 Million Slaves.
Right? And it'll put this whole thing in perspective that compared to the owners, what the owners make, because, and also a lot of people don't realize, if you're an owner of a football team, that's probably not your main source of income.
Right, you own an oil company or something.
Yeah.
This is a fucking toy. This
Right,
is your
what
pet
they do.
project.
Yeah, this is just, their hobby. Like,
hobby.
Bragging rights to other billionaires, to the other 31 billionaires. Like,
my team can beat your team. My niggas can beat your niggas.
Basically. So, while he's in the news now, they asked him about his comments that he made about the asylum, and he said the only thing he regrets is apologizing.
Wow.
That was thug.
That he doubled down.
Yeah.
So not only are you inmates running the asylum,
I'm not sorry about it.
I'm not sorry about that. And niggas gonna line up and try out for the team.
Yeah.
Right? Because it boils down to this, and I hate to say it. Everybody can't be an entrepreneur. I know we push this narrative, do for yourself, go out there and start a business. Everybody is not built for that. You have to work towards that. You know what I mean? You have to lose. You have to learn the business. Remember, they have a 400-year head start on us when it comes to that. So I'm not one to be telling everybody, just be an entrepreneur.
Right.
Like go on the corner and start selling fucking shirts or whatever the case may be. It doesn't work that way, right? So some people have to work. And those who do work, you have a choice. You can work at Burger King.
Yeah.
Or you can work on your skills and get a multi-million-dollar contract. Mm-hmm. Now, which one do you want to have? Right?
Right.
Or you could be, hey, my name is Black Dot. Welcome to Burger King. May I take your order, please? Would you like to supersize that, sir? Sir, for $1 more, you can get 2 apple pies. Do you want that? Or do you want to be working on your skill set and at least get paid enough where you can maybe start a business and double back down on your business later? So don't fall for that narrative. And another thing I'm going to add. You could be running a business while you have a job. Holy shit, can you? You absolutely can. I did it for years. You know what I'm saying? Work your job and start working on your exit plan. It doesn't have to be one or the other. Don't listen to these super conscious niggas that try to tell you it's one or the other. It is not. Work your job, because when your regular bills is paid, your creative juices seem to flow differently. You know what I mean? Your wife understands, check this out. Your wife understands your creative genius when the bills is paid. Women ain't got time for all that. I'm going to start a Fortune 500 company, but yet the bills ain't paid. The lights is out.
Kids is hungry.
Yeah, the kids, the fucking ribs is touching. No, she ain't trying to hear all that shit. Right. Women are very practical. Right. So, if you work your job and wifey sees, okay, bills is paid, then when you go, look, wifey, now I got to go in and get my time to create the exit plan. She's all for you, all with it, all day. And I see a lot of brothers lose because it's one or the other. Don't fall for that narrative. You can work your job and just create your exit plan. Be creating that underground railroad and learning how business works by watching the shit they make you do. Right. You know what I mean? And how you can apply it to whatever business you want. And before you know it, you'll be in a position. And another thing, last thing I'm going to say on the topic. When you see successful business people, you forget that they failed 30 times before they made it, because they don't talk about that a lot. You just think they made it. No, you know how many businesses Bill Gates probably started and failed and this and that, and then he finally got the formula where it needs to be. And here he is. And here we are at Urban XTB. I told you, we working on a couple of millions. We got all the zeros already. We just working on the numbers.
Oh, also, I put this on Twitter because it was news that the Ravens signed RG3.
RG3, the Ravens.
Right.
Okay. 1 year deal?
Was it? 1 year deal, something like that.
Okay.
And what I said was this is just further proof that the NFL does not want cap.
Absolutely.
And I don't understand why we want him back in the league if they keep showing us over and over and over again that they don't want him.
Not only did they're willing to give Johnny Manziel a shot.
Right.
He's terrible.
Right.
Before they give Kaepernick.
Right.
Kaepernick stands for something greater than what you and I can imagine. Right.
So at this point, like, again, he's a martyr. Like,
and I said it on one of go back to looking at our archives. If he comes back to the NFL, he's failed. He is too powerful now to now have a job. Because that means all we was doing was rallying to get him his job back. Right. Are you kidding me? After what he did, took a knee and almost brought the whole NFL to his knees?
Right.
Are you kidding me? So you can't double down on that and now, hey, my name is Kaepernick, welcome to McDonald's. You can't do it. You now stand for something greater than a job.
We look weak.
We look weak.
We look weak by trying to get his job back.
So we always talking about get off the plantation. So he made his exit, and now we trying to ask the same people who took him off to put him back on the plantation. Because it is a plantation to a certain degree. Not knocking people who are making their money. We're all on a plantation in some capacity. If you're working at McDonald's or you working at UPS, we have to put them hours in for that manual labor to get that check so we can go pay these bills and keep these babies happy. Right. All right? Until you create the escape plan. Stop the bullshit, please.
So, yeah.
You are tuned into the sounds of Urban X.
Okay, so another day. Another unarmed black man.
Killed
by the police.
Killed by the 5-0.
This happened yesterday in Crown Heights in Brooklyn.
And it's on the anniversary of Dr. King.
Of Dr. King.
The 50th anniversary of Dr. King being assassinated.
Which is crazy. It's only 50 years.
50 years.
Wow.
I was actually in my mother's stomach at the time, so I wasn't physically, and she was traumatized. You know what I mean? Because Martin was her dude. You know what I mean? As he was everybody's. He represented a ray of hope, and don't give me all that other shit in the chat room about, I don't want to hear all that. You got to put yourself in the mindset that our people were in at that specific time. Now, 50 years later, we can all pick apart what he did wrong and what he did right on some Monday morning quarterback shit. We can do that. Yeah. But at that time, in that moment, when we didn't have a voice for ourselves, he was the voice. And for those who chose to go to the other extreme, Malcolm was there. So those who were militant amongst us or felt that we should do for self in some capacity, Malcolm was there to hold that down.
And you know what I also found interesting, like, when you get a little older and you start doing your own reading, your own research about things. At first, because my name is Malcolm, so I only, learned about Malcolm X.
Right.
But when you get older and you start, doing your own research, you realize that Martin, he had his radical ways.
Absolutely. That's when they really started getting rid of his ass.
Right.
Absolutely.
And even a lot of black people, older black people who are like now, who like the front, like they were always with them.
And they were not. Of course.
They were not.
Well, look at white people now. They want to celebrate him after he's dead. But when he was here, they wanted to pop his top.
Right. So, yeah.
You know what I mean? So when you look at it from that capacity, we always have to put things in perspective.
Yeah, definitely.
50 years ago, and you trying to tell me that you wouldn't have got water hose? You don't know what the situation involved, and they ran up on you and water hosed you. You know what I mean?
We not our grandparents.
We not out. Yeah, true. But at the same time, George Zimmerman is still walking around. I bet if the Black Panthers were here, he wouldn't be walking around. So let's keep it a buck. All right, when we start talking about that. But anyway,
so back to the man who got killed yesterday. There were 911 calls made saying that there's a guy on the street who has a gun who's pointing it at people. 4 cops came, 3 in plain clothes, 1 in a uniform, and they shot him 10 times, I think, or they fired 10 shots.
10. And I heard, I don't know what the word on the street, that they didn't say nothing to him. They just shot him.
That's what witnesses
that's
said.
the consensus report on the street.
Yeah, that's what witnesses said. I don't want to be the so I don't want to be the one to do this, but we have to.
Okay, let's do it. Let's do it.
There was a picture of him holding, I think it was a metal shower head in a way that looked like a gun.
It did look like a gun. I blew the picture up and looked at it.
From the picture, what I saw, it did look like a gun.
Right.
So, again, there's also reports that this man was mentally, I think he was bipolar.
Okay, he had some mental issues.
He had some mental issues. And again, if it's true that the cops didn't say anything, wrong.
Absolutely.
Wrong, right? Because if it was a white dude, they would have did anything to not shoot him.
We already know this.
We know this.
We already know this.
Because people, in the chat room, we're not taking the sides of the police officers, but again, we have to put things in perspective.
And our people, let me say this, are not ready to handle perspective. I bite my tongue more than people will ever, realize. It's simply because our people are traumatized.
Right.
So every single police shooting, whether right or wrong, conjures up these emotions in our people, and they automatically say the police were absolutely wrong for this particular shooting. And then when perspective kicks in, because that shit looked like a gun, and like I said, I don't know if they said anything or not, so I want to be clear. Allegedly, right? 3 or 4 people made the call. Somebody, I blew the picture up. It does look like a gun. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I don't know all the details, but continue, because I'm going to speak on this as well.
Yeah, what was I saying? What was that?
You was talking about perspective.
Perspective, right. So if it's a cop, right, probably a white cop. I'm not sure if the cops are white or black. You already are afraid of black people. Again, we're in Brooklyn, right? They probably have a preconceived idea about what's gonna happen. You see something that looks like a gun, he's pointing it like a gun. Mm-hmm. You gotta know what's gonna happen next. Like we've heard this story before.
Okay, and let me peel back a few other layers. I need to know were these officers white or black.
Yeah, that's important.
That's another thing. That's important because white officers are scared to death of black people, right?
Yeah.
And they're racist on top of that, right? So for them, and they're trained to kill. There is no negotiating with white police officers. Whereas if these were a few brothers who showed up, they may have assessed the situation differently, right? Because you also want to make sure you watch your background. You might fire and hit grandma. I ain't trying to hit grandma. I'm a black police officer. I'm trying to assess the situation. White officers filled with hate, filled with rage, when you put all of that in a pot and they show up and they had 3 or 4 confirmed calls that this guy had a gun, that goddamn shower head looked like a gun. Yeah. Right? And if he pointed it at them, they're going to air his ass out. And they're going to walk irregardless. Because all they need to say is, look at this picture of him pointing this. And that's when we showed up, we feared for our life, we fired.
That's what the police chief, he just pulled up the picture like, look, this looks like a gun.
Absolutely. So he's doing that to quell the riots that could come. But what these people do not understand is whether the police were right or wrong. It don't matter. They were wrong because of all of the other black people who were being gunned down. We are traumatized. We are tired of this shit. So whether you're right or wrong, you need to pay. And that I understand fully. You know what I mean? I keep telling people I do not get emotionally involved early on because I lose my footing when I do that. I'm always assessing and processing the information first so that I make sure I don't put myself in a position that plays me out. Right? Now, I'm going to say this. How many times are we going to go through this? This is what happens. They kill a black man. We come out and march. You see the mother crying. They award her. They let the officers off. That's the process. They kill a black man. We march.
They indict the officers. Then let them off.
Right. We march.
Get them excited.
You see the mother. You see Reverend Al Sharpton and these other guys come out. They get the indictment to bring everybody down. Look, we indicting. Then they let the motherfucker off, and then they reward the mother. That's the process. When is that going to change? When we keep doing the same things and expecting a different result. Don't hashtag me, motherfuckers. Don't hashtag Black Dot, nothing. I wrote it in my book, Urban Culture Decoded. What I want y'all to do, I want y'all to follow the ritual that I put in that book. If you ever hear I got gunned down, if you want to help me, none of my people hit the streets in March. Go to the formula. I laid the formula out in the book. You can pick that up at urbanx.nyc, Amazon, idcoded.com. Okay? So that's...
Smooth plug.
Oh, smooth.
Yeah, smooth.
Smooth like Billy D.
That was smooth.
Coke 45, Billy D's got the smooth taste. Right? So,
Okay.
just putting the plug in, right? So, what's going to happen? The same thing is going to happen.
Yeah.
Right? You're going to see the mothers crying. It's going to conjure up emotions in you. Everybody on their timeline, fuck the police. I'm tired of this. And then we're going to go through the protocol. Black Lives Matter is going to step out in front. They're going to do some marching.
Ray's going to be in his vest.
Right. The news is going to
Stinky,
come out.
dirty
And
vest.
CNN and them going to come out. And they're going to interview a few people. Yeah, because that shouldn't have happened. He wasn't doing nothing to nobody. Then, you know what I'm saying? And then you're going to see the mother flanked by Al Sharpton and that other black guy. He's new. He did the Trayvon Martin, I forget this, Butters or something, the lawyer, black guy. He's on the scene out in Seattle right now, wherever where did that happen? The other shooting last week? Was that Seattle?
Yeah, I mean, not Seattle, Sacramento.
Sacramento, right? He was out there. So hugging the mother, you know what I'm saying, and crying, getting them photoshops. I'm tired of the process. And I'm not being insensitive to the situation. We doing the same thing. I can call it shit. If I can call it, you don't think they can call it?
Right.
Let these niggas blow off some steam. Like you said, Black Lives Matter will come out. Sharpton them will come out. They'll give a speech. And this shit will quell down. He'll shave down. White police officer shave down. Mm-hmm. He'll put a suit on. And he'll stand there. And and the lawyers will speak. And he'll take the stand and say, I feared for my life. Right. That's all they need to hear.
Literally.
Literally. And it's a wrap. Once I feared for my life, it's a wrap. So...
Oh, so
shout outs to him and his family.
Definitely.
You know what I mean? Again, we're not trying to be insensitive. We're trying to put all of this in perspective because we keep making the same mistakes. I hate making the same mistakes. It really bothers me. And as a people, we're making the same mistakes.
Definition of insanity.
Definition of insanity, absolutely.
Also, we gotta revisit this case, the Stephon Clark case.
Stephon Clark. Okay, this is the one that happened last week.
And we spoke about it. A lot of people were upset because I guess people felt like we were taking the sides of the police officer because we brought up what was happening prior to him getting killed.
No, I'm not taking the side of the police officer. I'm trying to put you on the jury stand.
Basically.
That's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to put you on the jury stand because I know how they're going to present these cases. You know what I mean? And if we're going to take the same action, then really don't get worked up about it. I told you I don't put none of that shit on my timeline. It's because we're dealing with so much trauma as is. They're going to present that case. They're going to bring up his history, right? And then they're going to say he was breaking in the cars. Look, here he is. Then they're going to show you that infrared signal of him running over backyards and all of that old kind of shit. Then they're going to show you that position of him pointing. But I heard he got shot in the back.
Yeah.
8 times.
Right.
Ouch. That changes the narrative.
A little bit.
A little bit?
No, not to me, but in the eyes of the court.
Oh, in the eyes of the court. All right.
Right.
Okay, I thought I'm like, nigga, he got shot in the back.
No, I'm talking like...
I was about to end this show. Now I was about to Alejandro your ass, nigga. You Alejandro.
No, I'm talking about like in the way... Because, again... We've had cases where we thought were open and shut cases. Like, oh, all right, cool.
Abner Louima, 41 times. The list goes on and on and on. And then, that looks like open and shut cases. Dude with his hands up, murdered, and the police walk.
Right. So that's the only reason why I said that.
Okay, gotcha. Clarification.
That's the only reason why I said that. But this case is getting a little weird because they started bringing up, I guess, his old tweets. About black women?
His tweets about black women, which he hate black women. Only thing he likes black is his Xbox. His children are by an Asian girl, a Chinese girl or Asian, and she even went on black women. Black women are mean. So now you have you're in a quagmire because you got black women out here marching for you, and you don't even like black women.
Right.
Now that doesn't negate the fact that he got shot by the police, but now it just adds to the narrative now.
It also adds to the narrative, but this is something I wanted to say, right? I don't like when people, right, mainly black people, mainly people in our community, only ride for something when it fits their narrative.
This is what we've been talking about. This is the same thing. As long as it fits your narrative, you riding.
Right.
But if it doesn't fit your narrative, man, I ain't with all that.
Right. Or like, prime example. So remember last week, Killer Mike, he put out that interview, right?
Yes.
With the NRA, and he said like people will come up to him all the time, like, "Yo, they gonna have a Klan meeting. You know what we gonna do?"
The nigga said nothing.
He said nothing.
That's
What?
their first right amendment
Right.
to speech, and why should I care? It has nothing to do with me per se.
Right.
You can't have it both ways.
You can't.
You can't want to get in your black power shit, and then when they having their white power shit, you got a problem with that.
Right.
It's their First Amendment right to do so.
Right.
And we become hypocritical when we do that. And then we begin to you get people who just want to follow shit to be following shit. You know what I mean? So back to my man, so now I saw a sister named Black China. I believe it was a few other sisters who came forward and said, dude, I ain't riding with you. Because you don't like black women.
Black China?
Black China? No, not Black China.
Yeah.
It's a sister named China.
Okay.
She's a light-skinned sister who does YouTube clips.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? I think I might be mashing her name up.
Yeah, I think you.
And she said that. Now, there's also the issue of his brother.
Oh yeah.
His brother was out here wilding.
Yeah.
And it looked like he just was out for some publicity.
Yeah.
Come to find out, this is his second brother that's been murdered. Now, I don't think the first one was by the police, so his aunt came out and said he's traumatized. So I had to give him a break, because I was like, yo, my dude, you seem like you trying to come up off your brother's death. And, he may be a little off, so to speak, but now I understand the trauma of losing two brothers. He's the middle brother. He lost his younger brother, and now he's lost his older brother.
Wow.
And if he got shot in the back 8 times, that's murder.
Yeah.
I don't care how you dress this up. This is murder. And I'm going to go with what D.L. Hughley said. We need to see the tape the same time everybody else see the tape. The police officers can't take the video back to the precinct, doctor the shit up, show us what they want to show us, and then present it to the people.
And that's another thing.
That's not transparency.
Last week when we actually first covered the case, we were going off of what we knew.
Right. Absolutely.
Right? So like, it's people like commenting on it now with information that's out now.
Right. We were only dealing with the information that was available at the time, and we were giving our perspective on that. What we know now, of course, I'm like, wow, he got shot in the back 8 times. Like, that changes the narrative altogether. I don't give a fuck what kind of cars he was breaking into or how he was pointing. He got shot in his back. So you cannot tell me that this man, you feared for your life. And he got shot in his back, they said 6 to 8 times.
Yeah.
Damn, what the fuck was that all about?
Right. They were just letting it know.
You see what I'm saying? So the more the information comes in, and that's another reason, but because for the sake of us doing this podcast now, I'm in a position where I got to give my opinion on things that are fresh off the press. Right. And normally that's not my MO. I'll usually wait till everybody give their opinion and digest it. But for the sake of our podcast, which is you are tuned into the sounds of Urban X. You know what I mean? Right. I am jumping the gun somewhat sometimes, so bear with us here in order to bring you some information that you can digest and maybe put a different perspective.
Facts.
On things. Facts.
Oh, so this next one is not really about any current events.
Okay,
right?
okay.
So my little sister.
Yes.
Your daughter.
Yes.
She's on a college tour right now.
Whoa.
And I just thought it would be a great conversation about college in general or what.
Yes.
Picking college. Oh, when you didn't go to college, when me and my when you.
Why you gotta throw that out there? Let me tell you a quick story first. Listen, I got my GED. It's a good enough diploma, and I got it so early that I wasn't even 18 yet. So they said when I turned 18, it was gonna mail it to me. Right. That was 30 years ago, right? My daughter swears I did not get a GED. She's like, Dad, stop. You don't have a GED. So the bet is when I go down to the GED department, you are all in on this, and they mail it to me, my family has to give me a graduation ceremony here in my house. I'm talking about full cap and gown. I'm doing a commencement speech, and they all have to dress up. You better put a goddamn suit on.
Oh, yeah.
Clap that up. and we will air it for you guys.
You know what's crazy? Prior to my sister saying that, I never questioned it until she said it.
Until she said it, right?
He don't got like,
Yeah, I got a good enough diploma.
I don't know now.
But anyway, back to her shine.
So she's on a college tour right now, and
HBCU. 9 colleges,
right?
The whole week.
And you know, I'm talking to her, and she's telling me what school she likes and things like that. And I thought it was just interesting about college in general. Mm-hmm. Like, what do you feel about, you know, going to college? I mean, me and Marcus went to college, right?
Yes.
But at the same time, like, what was your initial thoughts?
Growing up, it wasn't in my lexicon because nobody in my family prior to that had went to college. Mm-hmm. But remember, I had my own apartment at 16. I had my first son at 18. So life for me took a more of survival mode. But intelligence was never the issue. Right. So when I got in position when my oldest son was old enough to go to college, I wanted him to have that experience. But he went into college knowing that the black man is God. All right? And that your education there will not determine, because you can be book smart and still not have common sense, right, and be intelligent. Don't associate education with intelligence. They're two different things, right? Definitely. So I wanted him to go away to broaden his perspective so he can see that he can get off the block and he can do some things. And he has a business degree and he's putting it in practice now. Right. You were more on your sports thing. You wanted to play football at every level from Pop Warner to high school, and then you began to get recruited from colleges, and I knew education wasn't a thing for you either. I wanted you to go away because now your brother has set the bar, right? So now you go off to college, you come back with a degree in history.
Don't hate.
Whatever.
That sounds like a lot of hate.
I'm just saying, I kept telling him business, technology, because we need this to run this company. He has a degree in history. All right, now, with that being said, but he does have the degree, and I'm pretty sure it broadened your horizons.
I thought, you know what's crazy? Aside from the actual degree, going to college changed my life. Changed, I guess, the scale of what I see the world in now.
Okay,
right?
Okay.
So the first college I went to was upstate New York. A lot of white people. That was my first real experience
with just Europeans.
Just European. I was like, yo, and the black community at my particular school is really small, right? And I learned a lot about white people. I learned what I didn't like, and I learned, and I had some friends that were really cool.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
White
knowing
boys
who my pops is too.
Yeah.
And at the same, knowing what I know about just what I know, right? And then you still meet some white people, yo, he's cool. And
I tell people all this time, when I speak on white people, I'm speaking about the culture itself. Right. There are individual people who have good hearts all over the place. Right. You can be on a job, you can wave to white people. Right. Hey, Bob, hey, Jim. You know what I mean? You can wave to them. You have people on your job that, y'all go out to lunch. It's the collective, the hive mindset that creates the problem. But individual, the system of white supremacy, but you can meet individuals. So I treat everybody accordingly. When you meet me, if you white and you treat me with respect, you're going to get treated with respect. Right. You know what I mean? Yeah. Don't mean you're going to be invited to the next Black Power meeting, but you get treated with respect.
Yeah, so I'm excited for, I'm excited for Odyssey to go to college. I think she'll learn a lot, and the fact that me and Marcus went to school, I think we can impart a lot of wisdom. That's
the whole goal. See, once you guys have set the template for her, this is something I want her to experience. So going on these 9 college tours, these HBCUs, and we will do other colleges. This is why I don't want you to think it's all about going to black colleges, because they get ratchet at some of these black colleges. Yeah. And if you're not there understanding who you are and your mission there, you can get caught up in that.
And sometimes going to an HBCU, or if you're white going to a predominantly white school, if you're not around the other culture, you're not really prepared to deal with them once you leave.
Right. Absolutely.
Right. So
absolutely.
Don't get me wrong. I think I didn't go to a HBCU, but my college was a lot of black people there. But I think the second college I went to.
Right. The second college. Right.
But I think once you leave, right, you have to really understand that the world
is not in this vacuum of just black people.
That's
doing
not
black
what you're
things.
See. And it's beautiful to see black faces, people that look like you doing their thing.
Absolutely.
But you got to be real. A lot of these corporate jobs, you're gonna have
It's a game that's being played.
Right. You're gonna have to fake laugh around people.
Absolutely.
That's not funny. You're gonna have to.
That's the name of the game. You can say whatever you want.
Yeah.
So don't get caught in a vacuum thinking you're gonna come out and strictly only deal with black people. If that works for you, great. But in the real world, especially the corporate world where you're trying to make money, it's all one big game. The one thing I've been taking joy in is watching these kids get at the computer and just to see if their acceptance letter came in with their family around them, and they hit the ceiling when they get accepted. It almost brings tears to my eyes, because if you don't know our story, and this might be the first kid in that family that's going to college, and the whole neighborhood is rooting for you. So I take pride in that. Ladies and gentlemen, send your kids to college, but send them there understanding that knowledge is free. Education costs money.
Right.
But to play this game of corporate America and to do these things, they want these certificates. Send your children away if you can, because they need to grow up and they need to see a snapshot of what it's really like out here in this world. So I'm hoping my daughter comes back with a different mindset. She's already been texting me. She likes this school. She likes that school. And, we're going to support her.
And last thing I want to say is sometimes, again, Dr. King, he was killed 50 years ago. It's not that long.
Right.
That's not that long ago. Right?
That's one grandmother.
Right. That's literally. And you don't understand, like, back then, for him to have an actual college degree.
Right.
Right?
Back then,
how tough that was. Because when I got accepted to the school, the first school I went to, and I finally made my decision where I was going, everybody was calling me, congratulating me, and I thought it was like, cool, yeah, that's what's up. Like, everybody felt more excited than I was, because I'm just like, all right, I'm going to college.
Right.
And I don't know if you remember, it was my freshman year, and I was doing a research paper. I was in a library, and then it kind of just hit me, like, how big this was.
Absolutely.
Like, how really, it's a shared experience, like,
absolutely,
with my ancestors. Like, I'm really on a college campus.
Absolutely. What your ancestors fought for. Side note,
right.
Linda Brown died last week from Brown versus Board of Education, and we didn't speak about that. But what she had to fight for, even to get segregated, I'm more of to get integrated. I'm more of a segregationist, but that's beside the point. But that brave young girl had to go through with troops for her to go to school. And we kind of, we want to mention her as well, because there's one story being told. Don't ever think your story is not connected to your ancestors.
Right.
We are one story, and now you're the narrative of this specific story. So we want to clap that up to all of the kids who are going to college, to all the parents.
Getting acceptance letters.
Getting them acceptance letters.
About that time.
Who don't know how they're going to pay for it, but they're going to pay for it. And you know what I'm saying? And don't show your kid that you ain't got it, because we going to get it. You know how black people do. We go, hey, girl, you made it. How much that's for? Oh, girl, don't even worry about it. We're going to get that $50,000. Yeah, girl, just go ahead in there and study. Me and your mother got to talk. No, we're not crying. These are tears of joy. We're just so happy for you. Oh, shit. How we going to do that? You see what I'm saying? Right. So with that being said, let's clap that up.
Again.
Oh, I did that again?
Yeah.
Okay. 2 claps. Malcolm, where can we be reached?
We can be reached on social media.
Oh, bam. Side note.
Oh.
We got winners for the hat.
We do have winners for the hats.
3 hats. It was really one winner. My man Keys was the winner. All right?
It's an asterisk by that.
Okay, look, I checked YouTube first.
Okay, but
because we were airing on YouTube.
But
right?
we actually said hit us through social media.
We did. Okay, so long story short, Keys, 30 years ago, I released an album on B-Boy Records called Tall, Dark, and Handsome. All right? That was 30 years. So when I'm speaking about hip-hop, I'm a recorded artist of 30 years, which means I've been in hip-hop long before that. So he got it right. But your man on Twitter.
Somebody on Instagram.
What was his name?
What was his name? Hold on.
He got more.
Baby J or 93 Baby JR?
Yeah, Baby JR 93.
Yeah.
He got more detail. He was like.
His answer, it was like Tall, Dark, and Handsome, release date May 15, 1988. He said, this was through me. He said, it was B-Boy Records. A-side had 4 songs, B-side had 5 songs, and it was a cassette. I said,
When he said that, I said, bing!
I said,
because we did some awkward stuff and put 4 songs on the A-side, and 5 songs on the B-side, which was unconventional. And I forgot it was May. It was May 15th that we released that. And we had our moments, and it was a great album at that time. So we want to shout out my man. We want to shout out my man
your hats will be sent.
Keys. And we want to shout out my man Jay Woo. Shout out to my man Jay Woo.
Yeah.
He came in, he had to answer too, and I'm like, yo, Jay, you was late. He said, no problem, Doc, I got it. So we're going to send my man Jay Woo a hat anyway. So let's clap that up. I like this clap button.
Yeah,
Now tell us, where can we be reached? And, you know,
so,
that kind of shit.
Instagram and Twitter.
Instagram, Twitter.
UrbanX_NYC.
_NYC.
See the screen here? UrbanX_NYC at Instagram and Twitter. For the blog, for the written pieces.
Got to get to those written pieces.
Written pieces, urbanx.nyc. Again, that is urbanx.nyc.
And what's up with our podcast?
And on the podcast, you can listen to us on Apple Podcasts.
Apple Podcasts.
Radio Public. What's the other one?
Audio Boom. Spotify.
Not yet. Not Spotify.
I'm putting it in the universe. Spotify.
Okay,
But don't go there expecting to hear.
And Google Play. Urban X Podcast.
All right.
Subscribe. Don't forget to subscribe to the YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe to the podcast, whatever platform you're listening to the podcast on. Subscribe to the blog as well. And we are out.
You are tuned into the sounds